I first met my co-host when she had a syndicated talk show all about sex. Sex with Sue McGarvie. And I am the milkman John Mielke, host of The Milkman Show, heard on radio stations across North America. And my home base, blasttheradio.com. We're glad you're here. Let's get turned on. Hello once again, Sue McGarvie, and thank you for inviting me to yet another Ducklings party, which was an absolute hoot.
We looked cute. We had poodle skirts, and I had this like summer lovin' dress that I got for $20 off Amazon that everybody I know it's so good.
I did a quick little video. My wife always wants to know, what's the environment like? What's going on? So I did a quick little scan of the room, quick little video, and she's like, "Look at the poodle skirts! Oh my God, they're so fantastic."
It's very cute. We were super cute. We are very cute.
All right, hey, listen, can we talk sex for a change?
Okay.
All right. Funny that you would lead in with that, because first up is women's pornography. What is it? I can't wait to get into it. What is it that women are into? What is their spank bank go-to?
Okay. The Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy says that half of the women ages 18 to 69 polled in both Australia, our favorite place, and the US, use porn to facilitate masturbation. And they were trying to figure out, which of the Pornhub genres they did. And they said basically there were a few surprises, but most of it was diversity of preferences, right? That 39% of women viewed straight, heterosexual, man and woman, getting it on, 1+1. 27% of women focused on what was traditionally women's genre, like lots of massage and things with stories, and another 20% focused on women's orgasms. Basically, it's about women's pleasure event, tongue on clit. Like, that's what they want. Okay. Like, just show me a bunch of like real close-ups of women reaching orgasm, which actually surprised me.
Well, my first thought when you said that was, are they going to investigate squirting? Right? How many times does that come up in conversation? I can't squirt. I've heard of squirting. What is squirting?
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing or not?
Maybe. And that very well, that's actually I didn't even think of that. It's funny because I was at the dollar store. It's where I buy my puppy pads, right? Because you put them on the bed and you make a mess. And there was other women my age buying puppy pads. And I'm like, I don't know if you have a new puppy. I know. I told you that story about my daughter when she was in public school and she saw the puppy. We're getting the puppy. She was just over the moon, and I had to, discourage her and said, "Oh my God." I know. I
love you, Sue. And I've been known to go to the grocery store and just for fun buy a little baby oil and some saran wrap and a cucumber and just sort of get the reaction because it just entertains me. And yet, despite that, I think I'd still be embarrassed shopping with you somehow.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was really good. And the last one on this survey, just so we don't, only 11% want rough, violent, or what they call diverse. Diverse.
Alternative.
That's what they watched. So who knows what's going on there. And it's the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy. That's what's happening. There was an interesting sideline to this, and they talked about women and I guess they asked women who were in, either divorced or there was some infidelity or other partners, and why they wanted that, that they wanted more, sexual consistency in their life, and they got it through porn and masturbation. So, yeah. So if your sex is boring and it's, your husband's like meat and potatoes, and you may be wondering why your wife's in one of these studies, because they want, the women's pleasure focus. And let's find out if it's more about squirting and G-spots. I have the G-spot book. I wrote it. It's 10 years old now, but the parts don't change. And it's called Quivering Jello, How to Have Mind-Blowing Toe Curling Orgasms. If you send us a letter, I will send you a copy of the book. Sue@sexwithsue.com. I will send you a copy. It was an Amazon bestseller. Sue@sexwithsue.com. Quivering Jello, How to Have Mind-Blowing Toe Curling Orgasms. It'll be yours if you send us a question.
And I was talking when you said the email address, and that email address again, Sue, is
Sue at sexwithsue.com.
My game show host voice. I haven't used that one in a long time. All right, up next, you have a listener question regarding, I guess they're in a situation where their partner can only have sex after drinking.
So they're feeling frustrated, right? I talk to guys all day long who aren't getting any, and they feel pushed away, unattractive, never know when it's going to happen. And this need to feel desired, such a big thing for guys.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea that they feel frustrated because, they basically have to get their wife impaired before she's up for arousal, which happens a lot because women have this, the frontal brain, and we're, got this list of to-do things and we can't get out of our heads. And when you have a couple of glasses of wine or more, you can put that laundry list away. It also is a panty remover. Alcohol for women increases our testosterone. For guys, it is a depressant on the central nervous system. So whiskey dick is a thing. But for women, a couple of glasses of wine, I always say in conjunction with dark chocolate, and she's way more wiggly than she was. So Luke, I know that's frustrating and it's not good for her liver and whatever, which is why all the women I know of my age are taking the chocolate gummies, or the gummies like the sweet, sour puss ones, or I like the chocolate, because 5 milligrams feels like 2 glasses of wine for me without the headache in the morning and without the calories. So I don't only do it when I'm not obviously when I'm in a place, because you can't drive and, all that stuff. But the chocolate is something. So again, more and more women I know just says it increases the sex because it gets you out of your own head.
So, yeah, and that's, I guess, kind of where the question comes from too, right? It's like, why does she need to be drunk in order to have sex with me? What is wrong with me that they need to be? And this is, the age-old, comedians do stand up about this kind of thing. It's, the subject of sitcoms and movies, etc. So that's what it is. It's just a matter of getting them out of their head. And it boils down to, I guess, communication, because I've had to have this conversation so many times. I'm easy. You're right. I want to be cuddled. I want to be desired. Just, it's a yes. It's not even a question. It's a yes. But I'm not good at initiating at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and then she
Which
needs
creates the
to have a
communication
tug.
block.
Okay, communication block. And we talked about signals, but the idea is that the closer you are, you need, and we talked about this separation entity. If you are too close, if your relationship is so intertwined, usually the sex is bad. So create some mystery, close the bathroom door, do some more things on your own, and invite your wife on a date.
Wait. Who's not closing the bathroom door?
Well, there are, some people, there's some need sometimes to create mystery. I don't think entirely, it depends on the nature of your relationship. But for some women who don't want it, it's never been a problem for me either. But, that's a thing, right? Those were some of the suggestions on creating mystery in your relationship. And I think, sometimes it's playing dress up. Sometimes it's saying, send your partner a text and going, you're on we're going on a surprise outing. Right. Blindfold is in the glove box, put it on and meet me in the passenger seat. I'll be right there. Right. It's that kind of thing, which ups the sexual arousal. So the more distant the more sort of separation out of the, the best friends thing, a little bit less alcohol, but understand it's not about you and it's about her. But as long as you're getting it.
At the end of the day then is, don't be embarrassed by it, encourage it, go with it. If it works and if it gets you two together, then
if she's writing saying I'm turning into a drinking problem because it's the only time I have sex, then I'd be looking at some other options for her. But it's him saying,
well, if it becomes a drinking problem, I'm hoping you're having a hell of a lot of sex.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough. But stop making it about you. I know. Can I talk about bug sex again? I know I bring this up every week because I get
it's been
so
5
excited.
minutes, of course. Why not talk about bug sex again?
Well, there's this. I know I'm going to slide it in because if I tell you we're going to talk about it, you're like, Sue, not bug sex again. But I think it's so fascinating. They're all doing different things. So male flies produce a chemical that make females sleep after mating so that the other males aren't going to mate with her too. So it's a new thing with fruit flies and they've just discovered it. And I'm like, oh, so,
it's
we
like
evolve.
Chloroform, right? It's like every horror movie, every bad NCIS scene ever.
Yep. Yep. So male fruit fly semen puts female fruit flies to sleep after sex. Go figure. There's the new study.
And
All
that
right.
will be the title of this podcast if I can find enough room for all those words. My goodness. Next up, back to the internet we go. The most searched sex positions.
Okay. So they did a survey, finally just came out in, April of 2023, which is the most searched sex positions in 2022. And I'm telling you, I can't do them. So scissoring, which we can all picture, where, the legs are intertwined, and
Pretty self-explanatory.
sliding on the back. Yeah. Scissoring, We got that. All right. Amazon. Now, how do I describe this? I could show it.
Sorry, what's it called again?
It's called the Amazon. Okay.
The Amazon. Okay.
So,
I did hear that.
Yeah. Your part. So think of it as him on his back.
Okay.
On his back, legs practically up over his head. Now you'd have to reach down and pull the erection, or it's great for women. It's great women on women, right? Because then you can do your grinding thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
On his back, legs in the air, and she's kind of using the hips to jump up and down here. I'm going to show the picture again. It gives you, anybody who's just listening, it gives you a great excuse to go on our YouTube channel. Look at this. Can you see it?
Okay, so instead of her on top, she's on top, but behind the legs.
Behind the legs. I know.
Okay.
I am not, doesn't look comfortable. I'm not interested. 69. We've all got that. That's, number one. Okay. And then we've got the lotus position. Let me describe this to you. They stay in a cross-legged position on the bed or on the floor while the other partner faces and straddles them to receive penetration. So this is like the yogis doing it cross-legged together. Right. One's on cross-legged and the other one straddles them while they're cross-legged. Yawn. Spooning.
Yawn.
I'm like, this. Like, it's just too much sitting around. I don't know.
I can't even cross my legs anymore. That's my
I know. Fair enough. And you need some of these you need a gymnasium. Spooning is ideal for comfort and equal control, right? Penetrating partner, we've got that. All right, spooning, we're all set. All right, let's go to the helicopter. All right, are you ready for this? Look, there's the picture. All right, here it is. I know it's considered a more advanced sex position. You got this,
I
right?
always heard the term helicopter and thought that, and like I actually saw my neighbor doing that to his wife the other day. He's outside barbecuing, she's in the house, and listen, as much as I don't get along with that neighbor, kudos to them because they're always having silly fun like that. He's helicoptering her. In other words, he's got his pants down and he's flinging his thing in the air. Okay, that's not what this is.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
But I've been waiting for an opportunity to tell someone that story, and there it was. Okay, so helicopter, as it pertains to this position, from what I saw.
This is your grumpy neighbor that's always complaining on you?
My Karen neighbor, yes.
I'd be like, give me some exposure.
We're the problem because we have lights on our deck, but they hang their bra and underwears on the clothing line. She walks around in her bra and underwear and her Crocs, by the way. Ow.
Yeah.
Doing her gardening. Oh yeah, there are all kinds of freak shows. Yeah. Can we get back?
Okay, so to try the helicopter, both partners get on their hands and knees, facing away from each other, but having their butts touching. Okay,
butts touching.
All right, then the penetrating partner lifts their legs off the ground and rest their thighs on the partner's back so they can insert their penis or dildo in their partner while maintaining the plank position with their hands.
Holy crap! Come on.
I don't know if it's the most Googled. I don't know if it's the most tried.
So, okay. Right? Okay, so allow me, if that doesn't make sense to people, let's see if my description helps you. I don't know that it will. I don't know if it's any better, but I'm going to try just to give you a different option. The picture I saw, okay, basically he's on top. Yep, he's on top, and that means his little pinpoint is obviously in her. Yeah. So she's down on all fours.
She's basically doing the child's pose, right, or on all fours, right? One of those yoga poses. But
he's spread. On top, obviously, and facing
and he's planking over her. I know, right?
And it's just like, okay, in order for this to be helicopter, there's got to be a spin move.
I don't know. It's called the helicopter. I don't know who named it. I don't know.
And I need to get to the gym. I gotta figure this stuff out.
Well, you know what? After the dance on Friday night, when I danced so long on that floor, I'm telling you, I have been creaking all weekend. I'm thinking, oh my God, every time I get up out of a standing position, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sore.
That's right. You heard it here on Turned On the Podcast. Sue's body is quivering and creaking. And I
Yes,
did that.
you did that. Yes, you did that. Yeah, great music.
With
And
music, but I did that.
I know. And if you're counting, and I said 6, the eight most researched, the last ones are cowgirl, which we know, reverse cowgirl, right? Cowgirl,
Yeah.
you giddy up. And favorite among women because it allows women to have more control of their sexual experience. And let me just read it to you. One partner lies on their back with their feet straight out. The other gets on top, straddling the bottom partner and is facing them. Giddy up. Girl on top versus reverse cowgirl, which is facing away from them. You get it. And the last one, the missionary, a highly adaptable classic, right? Yeah, we all know what missionary is. Spice up missionary, restraint element. To spice it up, you could add a restraint.
Oh, I was yawning until you put the restraint element in there.
I know. There you go. Boring, but
Hello,
it could be,
nurse.
but it's apparently an adaptable classic. So there are the
Yes, it
8
is.
that are best known. I wouldn't try one of these very advanced techniques. No helicoptering. And if you haven't been to the chiropractor lately.
And by the way, if you'd like an interesting neighbor, there is a house for sale 2 doors down. Get in touch.
Get in touch.
All right. The man in your life has hooked us up with some fun. Ancient names for the pee-pee.
Yes. It's very sweet. He sent me he likes to participate in this process, and he's like, favorite slang terms for penis. Okay. So, and they're all from different eras. So the kicky wicky is from the 1600s, the long plum, the bald-headed friar.
Why do I like that so much?
I know. All right. Going into the 1700s, it was the silent flute. 1800s was the gaying instrument.
Was it now?
Yeah. The liver disturber.
Okay.
The master of ceremonies, father confessor, the quim stick. These are all from the 1800s.
The quin stick?
Quim, Quim, the quim.
Okay.
Which is another word for female genitalia. The quim stick.
Okay.
Into the 1900s, it is the patootie, cutie patootie, sort of starting like that. That's where it came from, right?
Don't we refer to like somebody's bum as a cutie patootie? Or
cutie patootie is
feeding.
known as favorite slang words for the penis from the 1920s. The ambassador, Jesus, some guy named it that. Yeah. The kidney buster, the dingle doodle from 1935.
The dingle doodle?
Dingle doodle, 1935 slang for dick. Yeah. The ding Wallace, 1951. In the 60s, they called it the snorker. Have you ever heard that? The snorker? No. We should ask our parents. The snorker. Yeah. And the corn beef torpedo. So anything from the 1600s to the 60s, I know, right? There we go. So if you want to try something else, right? And you could go into the bald-headed friar. Yes, a 16, or otherwise, or it could be known as the bald pate friar, but that's not nearly as cute. Bald-headed friar.
What are some of the terms you've heard? We'd appreciate you weighing in on this. You can text the show at 613-604-6464. If you're in the USA, it's 941-725-6455. And as always, you can email Sue direct. Your address again, Sue.
Sue at sexwithsue.com.
All right, we'll wrap up the show. Another interview. This is an interesting conversation. You sent me the survey. Minority of men are the number of minority men who are faking orgasms. It's an astounding number.
83%. I know. I had to look at it again, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So 25% of all men have at some point.
That was my question. How does that compare to
25%? And I still think that's high. 25% have said, yeah, I did come. It just wasn't a lot or whatever. I'd come earlier today, so there's not a lot of fluid, whatever. Just finish this.
Well, and don't, like, if you're wearing a condom, doesn't that make it easier to,
fake it? Yeah.
Did.
So 75% of women, I think that's low, but 25% of men, I think that's high, have faked it. But 83 of sexual minority men, meaning if you're, I don't know, if you're kinky, if you're asexual, if you're, pansexual, something like that.
Another fascinating series of conversations, Sue, as always, here on Turned On, the podcast. We do this every single week. And hey, if you got a question for Sue, you got comments on the podcast, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on iHeart, we're on Amazon Music. Ask your smart speaker to play Turned On, the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. What's the email address, Sue?
Sue@sexwithsue.com.
Forward to another conversation a week from now.